Yeah, yeah.
Let's do it right now.
Yeah, before car stuff comes out.
Well, I've actually heard my driver
It's like a Pink Floyd thing.
Everybody over here. Not there, Rocky, over here.
All the tall people like me and Phil
That's
have
no
to be in the
fun.
back.
What kind of a crew we got here, man? Russell was right in with it, man.
Cozy up. Portland's in front.
Okay, I'm in back.
That's everybody.
Bring out your dad.
Everybody's short.
So Harold gets the
Holmes,
back.
Holmes,
Harold, you have the back.
Everybody, Lance gets the credit. Everybody.
But it was just
Eben, get over here in the back.
Okay.
Like big enough here.
You there, I'll get down on the knee. I'll take the
Russell,
knee
you
for
gotta scoot
Dennis.
your skinny ass in here, bro.
Russell, can you get enough here, is it? Can you get everybody away?
Ready?
Yeah, hold Dennis up.
On your mark.
Uh-huh.
Set. Get set. Go. Smile, everybody.
Where we
Do
go?
it!
Go where?
Cheese.
Go!
Pickle cheese.
With cheese.
Like 40 pictures.
Okay, good.
Wayne, you want to stand or now let me take your
Yeah,
picture?
yeah.
You want to?
No.
One more
No.
time.
No.
Just do the other.
Crouch.
Do you put your hand on your hip and you put your leg out like this? Is that
Put your left leg in, put your left leg out, put your left leg in, shake it all about. Ooh, especially like Dennis.
Okay, got a few.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, probably not a good idea.
So,
I'll let you look at him if you want. Yeah, I'm gonna show you.
we're gathered here today to recognize our most beloved family member and friend, Dennis Charles Gonzalez. So I am going to hand this over to his next youngest brother, Lynn, who has something to read.
You need help with the big one.
Well, that's why I don't use any. Well, Dennis started out as a troubled child to begin with. Mom used to say that when Dennis was an infant, a babe in arms, literally, she would pick him up and he would stiffen up. You know, if he didn't have a reason for it, he would stiffen up. And he didn't like being touched or handled, or, you know, he was not comfortable with it, you know. So that lasted him his whole life, you know. And by the time I came along, after a few years, you know, getting slapped around, you know, sometimes probably for good reason, usually not. What got me to reading, and I think it affected everyone, was Dennis. I used to go and swipe his paperback books, sci-fi, and I would read them until he came in and took it and hit me. And you know, that I think that it instilled the reading bug in all of us. We all have different, you know, Dennis presented a different facet of himself to everyone. It might be a very small, subtle difference, but it was basically his way of maintaining an advantage over pretty much everybody, including his closest family. So we all have a slightly different and totally warped picture of Dennis, and he was comfortable with that. He was good with that. He had a Spock-like talent for logic, and his logic was usually so illogical you could not find a way to work your way out of that Gordian knot that he tied with it. He would logic your ass on something you knew and tell you you were wrong, and you knew you were right, but you couldn't confront his logic, and that extended the game playing. He wasn't Kim Davis. He wasn't going to turn a table over. He was just going to fucking quit. It's obvious I can't win. And he would not play anymore. You might start a new game, but if you hassled him enough, he wasn't even going to do that. Fuck it. I'm gonna go home, smoke some more pot. That's it.
And if you're playing chess, he wouldn't let you resign. He'd say, come on, we gotta play this
Yeah,
out,
we gotta
you
play it
know?
out. Oh yeah, cause he rarely lost, you know, asshole. And I've heard that people make so much money off of physical training and fitness equipment and stuff like that. And if I could have gotten Dennis to let me try to market his Twitch exercise, yeah, because he ate like a 200-pound man and he stayed skinny like the 120-pound guy he was, you know, and it just wasn't fair. I could ask pretty much anyone, you know, and they would agree with me. It was just, you know, he was an athlete though as well. That twitching came in, I think, somewhere in there. But he was a excellent wrestler, and I know for a fact when I was in school, in self-defense, my forte was speed. I wasn't going to knock anybody out with one punch, but they were not going to get in on me without a few welcoming shots. And slap boxing with Dennis in the backyard, and Dennis knocked me on my ass twice and never closed his hand. I was so pissed. And I said, all right, your turn, Kim. And Kim goes, no, I got nothing to do with this. So anyway, what I'm going to do now is I've got a little thing that I wrote, and then I'll let you guys move it on. Well, Dennis is pissed. It's easy to see. There's nothing but thunder and lightning around me. And that was when I was writing this, it was all thunder and lightning around, and torrential downpour in the desert. But I'm not worried. I know he's no fool, and he won't get a lyric without me. I didn't know Dennis for all of his life, but I knew him somewhat all of mine. And he could come up with the wrong thing to say just about all of the time. And that is just one of his myriad gifts. Not to have them right now is a crime. I'll be right with you. And to not have them right now is a crime. Can you finish?
Obviously, you can't win.
It's obvious I can't win. I tried to talk them all into reading one verse because I knew this was going to happen.
And I really can't tell you how much I would give just to argue with him one more time. It's all about Dennis, man. He would hate that. Perhaps it's a bit about them. May we all live a lifetime and know there's a chance we will all get to see him again. Live long and prosper.
I got further than I thought I would. Thank you, Autumn. And that,
I got it.
I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Stretch, you got anything to say?
Just,
Harold, do you guys want anything you guys want to?
Cheryl's talking.
Cheryl, we're going to go Sibs first.
Shut up, you old bitch. Get up there and get it.
God, the family that prays together.
was sick, and I went to a class reunion, the 50th class reunion.
He got sissy.
I went to my 50th class reunion, and I had said something to somebody about Dennis was sick, and I didn't know if he was going to be around much longer. And one of the guys came up to me, and he says, I remember your brother. He said, he was somebody that was my year of school, which was a year younger than Dennis. And he said, I thought I was pretty much a real hot shot, and he joined the wrestling team, and blah, blah, blah. And he was like taking down all kinds of guys. And, he says, I was just feeling my
wrestling.
This was in wrestling. And he said, then Sereno said, we'll find out what the heck you're actually made of. And he said, out walks this little short, skinny guy that weighed about, 100 pounds soaking wet, maybe. And he came out there, and we squared off, and he said, and he absolutely tackled the shit out of me, not once, but like 4 times. And Sereno said, well, that kind of put you in your place. So he said, that was your brother. So, little teeny tiny guy with a whole lot of energy and biggest heart in the world. And I can't think of anybody that didn't love Dennis. I remember hearing stories that down in Lake Tahoe, that when they had a rowdy bunch of people that needed to have somebody calm them down, they'd send Dennis down to be the dealer at their table. So, as kids, we just had fun. And I was telling Carrie on the way up here, we used to live on the outskirts of Sumner when we were like, you know, before we were in school or anything. And the people next door to us had a bull, and so they had an electrified fence. And Dennis and I, we'd be out there playing and stuff, and we'd get bored, and it's like, I'm bored. Yeah, okay, well, you want to go grab hold of the fence? Yep. So we'd go over and grab hold of the fence, and let it shock us, and then we'd walk away again for a while. You know, so if Dennis is a little bit strange, you know, that probably explains part of it.
Right,
Yeah.
Anybody else in the family want to speak up? Julian?
No?
Roger?
Tiffany, tell about the time. that you-
Cheryl?
Well,
Roger's talking now.
Oh, okay. I didn't know Roger
Yeah,
was
Roger.
talking. Okay.
Just got to have one person that runs it.
Yep.
Too
'Cause,
complicated.
yeah, you can't see.
Well, I just have some great memories of Dennis. My all-time favorite, of course, is the Fantasia. That was really just very memorable. But I remember. That was Julian.
That was me.
Fell face first.
Yeah.
He didn't pass out.
Dan
he
and
knelt
Annie
it.
were there.
Yeah, I remember. I rode in
I know nothing.
I rode in like the trunk of someone's hatchback or something.
Try yo no sabe nada. That always worked for
I
me.
just remember you guys were in line and we kept walking by you and you had a pipe and you kept looking over to chuckling, you know. And Dennis didn't say anything. He just led me and Julian along, and you know, he was just like a
Yeah,
silent
Julian
partner.
melted.
Yeah. there was a time where, Lynn, you remember this, where there was like a couple of Hell's Angels that owed him money, and they were in the beach house in Kings Beach.
Yeah.
And Dennis is like, God damn, these guys owe me money, man. He goes in and yeah, like, I think you were with me. You're like, what are you doing, man? These guys are like 6'3" apiece. They're like over 200 pounds each. And he goes in and he says, listen, you know, you owe me my money. I want my money now. You know, this guy's like, oh, okay. You know, he's like, I'm gonna kick your ass if you don't give me that money. You know, the guy's like, oh shit, here, man. You know, that was hilarious because here these guys are these two badass Hell's Angels, and he's over there just rousting and getting away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the last thing I remember is when he was going to have his surgery, and it didn't work out. That's when he passed away. But I was with him that last day, and they wanted to give him some blood pressure med and stuff, and he wouldn't do it. He hardly even talked. They said, "Come on, you got to do this, or we can't do the surgery." You know, and he wouldn't even say anything. He just said,
He was done.
No. And you know, so the doctor comes in, the surgeon comes in, they go, "You have to do this. You got to do this." And so I go, "Look,